I look like Pac-Man in that thumbnail. Why, hi there, I'm Ron Juckett. No game today. Kind of tired. Did two yesterday. The Frank Robinson special, which doesn't seem to be listed on my regular channels, which is kind of strange. But we did a doubleheader for him yesterday. The first game was a tie because it went 12 innings, and I didn't want to. I knew I was calling two games, and the second game I thought was quite fun. And so that's actually there. I'm not sure where it went though. I need a haircut again already. Isn't that kind of funny? All right. The main purpose of this one, we'll do an event tomorrow. We'll do the Celtics and the Washington Bullets from the second week of the 1979-1980 season as we continue to track Larry Bird and Magic Johnson through parts of their NBA career. And the first one is this. But more importantly, I wanted to thank you out there. Yeah, you, whoever you are, you, for making this channel a success. We hit, during the games yesterday, we hit 200 subscribers. In fact, we're sitting here at 203 subscribers. I don't know what it was when I started doing this again. But we've at least doubled since September and those early football games. And we finished the football season, and we're 5 weeks into a baseball season and everything else. I am so blessed to be in this community of content creators. Because of this, I have found a little bit of work, which is great. How you doing, Al? It was Al's suggestion that I do these things live, and by God, we did, and it's now developed into a cult following. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Where I've appeared on other people's channels and Al, chats with Al, where I'm absolutely terrible at it because, what'd you watch for movies growing up? I didn't. I watched game shows. You want to talk about Match Game? I'll talk about Match Game. Oh, what'd you watch for cartoons growing up? I watched the Smurfs and Bugs Bunny. Play with G.I. Joe? Oh, yeah. My peace-loving mother was going to let me have that stuff running around the house. But I did get to stiff the Strawberry Shortcake doll a few times. So they tolerate me on that, and I get to bring to you games that I know that you guys kind of watched growing up. I wanted to find, thinking about doing a game today. I was trying to find a copy of Micro League Baseball from 1984, which is what I cut my teeth on, the first kind of strategy cards and dice type thing, and I can't find one that will actually run. Oh no, Al, we all help each other. We all help each other, and that's the great thing about the community is that we may not always be the same 5 or 6 core people over and over again, but we've all helped each other in some way. And so that makes it, worthwhile. It gives me something to look forward to all winter, and I have. I actually was able to get out of the house 3 times this week. I'm so excited. But we're all kind of in this together, and we all have eclectic different interests. I think I've called 9 different sports along the way, and I actually bought a wrestling game. Yes, I bought a wrestling game. And so we'll probably do some of that too. I still gotta get the horse racing game. And so I'm glad that most of what I do, you guys seem to like. That makes it so important for me. And I'm glad that we're doing the 1982 baseball season and that you guys embrace it, even through the bad puns. We're now getting stuff that's over 100 views per day, which is tremendous. So thank you. And of course, the specific thank yous, as I said, to Al, who is our father, is the godfather of this. I may be Uncle Ron, but Al's a dad. Al's the one that kind of prompts and pushes and says, you should do this. And how you doing, Devin? And all that. And, he's the one that makes sure that, we kind of stay on focus and do what we want to do. And so Al gets a lot of credit. Stratomatic Delaware, really early on, he did a video touting my channel, which he did not have to do. That was awful sweet, and that helped. And I'm glad that we help other people in the community. This is a community that let's all pat ourselves on the back. But community that supports each other and Dave Gardner, of course, and hockeytournaments.com. If you're looking to play in a hockey tournament in North America, whether it's broom ball or street hockey or whatever, go to hockeytournaments.com. I mean, I got paid for that. That was pretty awesome. And so, and of course, Tony Whitehill, we've done some of those shows together, and the bad streams that kind of break all halfway through and all that. It's kind of funny, and I don't take it too seriously, but I'm eternally thankful for all that. So questions. If you got any questions, now's the time to ask them. Baseball Demos the other day asked if what's my favorite baseball season, and thank you, Al. I do appreciate that. And 78 would be the one that if I was stuck on the desert island, I could play over and over and over again. I have it for action. I have it for replay. I have it for Strat. I need to get the new version of Strat. I have it for that APA clone that I have, and I even have it for NP3. I mean, if there's one season that I could just that I really would want to sit there and play all 2,430 games, that would be it. A tournament, not necessarily tournament to ourselves. I mean, that I turned 7 that November was kind of weird when we did the football replay. That was one of those Sundays was my 7th birthday. And so I forgot what game it was that I played, but yeah, it was actually on my 7th birthday. And Al, when he's going through his 77 Mets replay, is going to eventually hit the first game I ever went to. I almost did that one today because that's, what kind of solidified me onto being this geek. Enough to watch OG stream with Todd. They actually live streamed together last night. But I did not, but I'm going to let Al do that. And so hopefully he'll give me a heads up when he gets to August 9th, 77. When he gets there, do that one live online. Don't do it at 2 a.m. My wife won't appreciate that. But that was the first game I ever went to. But 78 was the year that baseball all really kind of clicked. And it certainly helped that the Red Sox were good that year. And, as they slid back in July and August, I had no idea what the hell it meant. My mom had a job as a guidance counselor assistant at one of the local high schools. She was single. And so she made money. We lived in this very nice apartment in the town that I grew up in, Poltley, Vermont. As a matter of fact, we'll give them a shout out. And she left me either a quarter or 50 cents a day for an allowance because we actually had money. It was one of the few times in as much childhood that we actually had spending money. And that was enough to either buy a pack of baseball cards and a Coke or a Coke and a newspaper or a newspaper. And yeah, Al, you do what you need to do. That was not a criticism. And if, we'll get to that in a minute. And so that was the summer. It all kind of made sense. We had a little black and white TV that sat on the floor. And so Saturday afternoons was, time with Joe and Tony watching Game of the Week. And if during the summer, you could stay up on those Monday nights to watch Keith and Al and Cosell make an idiot of himself. And so that's really when, that's when it all clicked. And of course, it just happens to be the summer the Red Sox blew the 14.5 game lead. And so yeah, there's a bit of, growing up a Red Sox fan, there is that bit of torment there. But my favorite player growing up was Jim Rice, and that was the year he tore the American League apart and, cried when they went on strike in 81 and all that. And so it gave a lifetime out of this, and I wanted to be a broadcaster. I knew I couldn't play. And so that was what I wanted to do. And so this lets me at least give out that dream to players that we all kind of know and have fuzzy memories of. So that's the answer to the question. 78 is the one I would just do over and over and over again. I'm not sure it actually would do a 78 baseball stream. Yes, of course we're available. I'm drinking my coffee now. Or I'm available. But that would be the one I would do over and over and over again. Let's see, what else? What type of replays do I do for baseball? Usually it's as replayed, but not so strict that the next pitcher has to come in that pitch on that particular day, especially with the Action PC engine, because I do periodic games, 2 or 3, from 2 days a week. And so their bullpen usage is different. And so I use what's available to me, but I'm not going out to say, okay, if Ron Guidry threw 7 innings, then Goose Gossage must throw the last 2. If it's available and they're winning, then I'll do it. All bets are off. So that's what I do for it's as played with a caveat. The other question I get a lot in my in the comments, and if Al and OG or any of you, the 5 of you watching, have a question, ask away. Why don't I use OOTP? I think Out of the Park Baseball is a great sandbox. If you want to replay the 1932 New York Yankees and the 2015 Tampa Bay Rays, you can do that easily. You're going to get a good game. You're going to be entertained. I think the animations are better from that. If you want to run a Lord of the Rings fictional league, if you want the Mordor Giants to play the the Wellington Boots, then you can do that. You can create your own teams and pick an era, and it's going to be there. It's the greatest sandbox in baseball. However, I don't think it's that great of a sim engine. If I'm going to do since I tend to do go back and do replays of season, I don't think it's designed for that. It can do it, and it's a hell of a deal. It really is a hell of a deal, but it's not. No, I have too many other engines, and I just want to play the game. And so that's why you haven't seen any OTP in my channel. I think Marcus does a good job. I mean, the guy's German, for crying out loud. It's not like he grew up around baseball. He's done a good job with it, but there are other engines I think just do replay simulation better, and so that's what I tend to use. Al says, play what you like and how you like it. That's how I see it. And Al, you don't need to stream at odd times to give the community a chance to stream. I usually stream around lunch. I think now the plan is to do probably 5 days out of the 7 a week at lunch, and an occasional nighttime one and whatever else that people want. People like it at lunch, or no, 4 days a week at lunch and a couple of primetime spots. But our community is growing, and so it's important that we try to do the best to encourage our communities. And OG's sitting into 6 inches of snow. How's the catfish doing? Got to feed that catfish. So I know the next replay game will be the basketball one. It actually did quite well, the NBA. I didn't think it would. But that's, again, thanks to Dave Little, who gave me the inspiration to do that. We were doing some college basketball. Catfish is fat and happy. But the NBA seems to be doing better. We're going to try some soccer. I didn't feel like doing a game today. I'm kind of half tired. And I did 2 hours of game call yesterday. So any other questions? I'd be glad to take them. Glad to watch a big fish in a little tank. But 200, I think, is a very good number. I am surprised at the amount of people who are, it's good to have passionate people. It doesn't mean that everyone agrees. I mean, there's Devin and I have talked about, even in the wargaming community, that people don't like you for doing this and that and the other thing. That there are people passionate enough about their childhood memories to want to recreate them in a way that they get some enjoyment out of them. And love you too, guys. And we have fun. We have fun. We certainly do have fun. Let's see. What else? How you doing, Anthony? So I forgot. The youngest person in our community, I believe, is 7. And you guys will be glad to know that he's actually figured out how to stream off his phone and get his camera in there and does a little bit of gaming. And that's great. I mean, it's how it starts. I mean, obviously, he's not going to be much of nostalgic for anything. But later on, depending on what he develops, he's going to remember this for a long time and is going to be comfortable in front of a camera and talking and just being himself. That's my cousin. That is my Aunt Nancy's daughter. That's her grandson. And so it's like a second or third cousin. But that's just still incredibly awesome. And I'm not sure he realizes I'm his cousin, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's enjoying it, having a good time and whatever. And we have, I guess Clinton's not the oldest, Al. He's got Howard's the oldest, right? So, the community is ranging from 7 to 70. And that's incredible. And everyone kind of has. No, he doesn't know who. Don't worry about that. He doesn't know who I am. Subscribe to his channel. Not sure who else is watching, but I love it. I love it. And you guys are pretty good on the chat anyway. I don't think he's one that's going through and watching streams that aren't live. One of my favorite memories on the road to 200 was Bubba and his talk of wigs in certain parts of the body. FOC for life. There are people who love Deadball. I don't like Deadball. I'll just put that out there right now. I don't like Deadball. Don't hate it, but it's not a period of baseball history that I find interesting. And I like the DH. I grew up watching American League Baseball. I'm used to it. It's the way that I'm used to being played, and they play it at every other level except for here in the league in Japan. Come at me, bros. Come at me. No one wants to see a pitcher hit, except for Max Scherzer. And Steven Strasburg in a home run too. But for every one of those, you get to see strikeouts and pinch hitters, and the games go too long. What else do I want to say? So, you guys got any questions? So Rick Porcella, John Lester, that was always fun. So we've hit 200 subscribers, 203 to be exact, and that happened live on the air. And I wanted to take a few minutes to mention that yesterday, but we're doing a funereal game for Frank Robinson, and this wasn't appropriate to do. What wrestling game did I get? I got the $10 one, Pro Wrestling, the cards and dice one that Sports Time that Mr. Mike was playing. Pro Wrestling Superstar is what I got. And I will throw that in there. You should, because there's a lot of, I got crap on my face from the donut I had earlier. For $10, you get all sorts of things. It's all cards and dice driven. And so, yes, I don't really like wrestling, but you guys love it. And Dave Gardner, what he's done with all the, with that wrestling game that Al showed off the other day, I wouldn't be getting that, but, that's awesome. But no, cards and dice and classic that. Still handsome Ron. It's too bad that Al needs cataract surgery. But we'll be doing something with it. That was pretty easy to get, and I just couldn't help but get for $10 and some classic wrestlers just to have fun with it. One of my treasured memories of watching other streams was the OG's New Year's Eve special, the pay-per-view. That was funny. And there are women wrestlers there with that, so we can do that. So I always ask, what else do you want? Is Bruno? It comes, I think, with like 30, 40 wrestlers, but you can download a lot for free, especially in the late 80s and such. Tony Wayhill's the one to do that. And the other thing that I've thank you, Anthony. Thanks a bunch. The other thing that this community has done is I had the chance to reconnect with Valentine's Day. Oh, right after my doctor's appointment. A little glow for Valentine's Day. Oh, yes. I was able to reconnect with Tony Whitehill, who I went to college with. And, when I say it's reason 6,587 why I flunked out of college, Tony was a great big help with that, whether he realizes it or not. So those are always fun. And going into Al's streams, yeah, you do need to get Tony on. Tony's got some stories I'm sure he will tell about me that I haven't told on myself. And Tony's, the great thing about Tony is that, he was the wrestler and the headbanger. I listened to Air Supply. Tony was metal, and Tony's such a good guy. Tony really is such a good guy. He's the morning guy at a little AM radio station up in St. Johnsbury, Vermont, that plays music of your life, the stuff that I like, but not many people my age do. And so he took over for a guy that passed away. I believe the guy's name was Dom Mullally, and he did it until he was in his 90s. Well, we could do that on a Friday night. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm game for it. It's up whenever Devin wants to do it. And so Tony continues that tradition. They don't get paid very well for doing it. He's playing music that he probably is going to like a little bit, and talks about, the chicken pot pie suppers and how long does it take to cross the border, and it's just everything that you would hope someone that wanted to be in your community. And I'm so glad I got to touch base with him and do stuff with him again. He's going to be doing some streaming on his channel. We got Dave Gardner to stream on his channel. He's got to remember not to mute the microphone when he does the wrestling matches, but I can't wait for his What If 77 OOTP season with the Red Sox with Reggie Jackson, and I forgot who else he traded for. Mark Fidrich. And so it's such a wonderful community to be part of. And the fact that, like I said, 200 people subscribe to me is beyond belief. I mean, I can't believe that 200 people want to watch games from the spring of 1982 or the fall of 1978. So yeah, tomorrow we'll do the Celtics, and we're going to be doing some What If football games at some point too. But again, this was more of, if you got any questions, ask. But really, just thank you guys out there for making me feel welcome, and for giving me an outlet after I left my writing job to be creative. We all do things in our individual channels that we enjoy doing, and it's our chance to go back and do something and be, like I said, be creative and share what we like with the rest of you. I'm not the world's biggest basketball fan. I've enjoyed doing them. I'm not even the world's biggest football fan at this point. But it gives me a chance to be creative. And, a good replay is like a novel. It's the same thing as writing. You don't know how it's going to go. You get kind of twisted and turned. And some days we're silly, and some days the games are good enough that you want to go on and to be covering the game. So thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to our other fellow channels. Of course, Al and Devin the OG. And Chris, as Anthony says, came over to you from Stratomac, Delaware's recommendation. Chris is such a good guy. Just a wonderful guy. I did my first Dungeons and Dragons with him and ID Jester, and a couple others. And we had a blast doing it. Wasn't very good, but didn't care. And that's the thing. We all got killed. But Chris is great, and I'm so and I feel bad because he didn't actually get the chance to go up and do opening day for Strat. Stratomatic was, Micro League Baseball was my gateway into knowing that there was this kind of a thing that you could actually do, past players. And Stratomatic was my gateway drug, man, and didn't realize how many people actually played it solo until I found the tabletop game board over at Delphi. Is how I got into meeting some people, and then through YouTube. So it's all been wonderful. It's all been positive, and I look forward to doing this all through the spring and summer. And I already know what football we're going to do, a football season again in the fall and all that. So there's going to be lots of good things coming. But the fact that 200 of you kind of take me seriously is a credit. So I certainly appreciate that. So again, thank you out there, yet you, the one falling asleep waiting for me to finish up. You make this possible. You keep me productive. It gives me lots to do during the day. Love doing it. Love calling games. The 82 season, I really don't remember all that much of. I remember being grounded for a lot of it. I don't know why, but so it's all fun. It's all fun, and being part of this. Being part of the community and having fun with the guys. It's important. Hopefully better weather will be coming, and I can get a better balance of being outside as opposed to being inside all the time. So thank you very much. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Ron Juckett. Basketball returns. Well, I guess Al and Devin and I will be on with you late tonight. And then I'll be back with the Boston Celtics game of the week from early October 1979. I believe this week it's the Washington Bullets and Boston Celtics. And then there's only two well, we'll figure out some baseball games for you this week. And so until then, thank you so much. You guys are just the best. And let's grow this to 500, and let's all grow this to 500 and 1,000. Okay? Thank you, and we'll talk to you the next time.